You seeing this shit? About work. Um, they've done studies of people with avoidant personality disorder that they stay in relationships for much longer than average. That includes work. And so what happens is um, employees will take advantage of their employees who have avoidant personality disorder. And I hear this all the time. It seems like it's either or. Either you've got somebody who can't work because of the avoidant personality disorder, and I so get that. I made a video a while back about what kinds of jobs, despite what, you know, therapists and all that say, oh, you should be able to do this, you should be able to do that, as opposed to what you actually can do if you have avoidant personality disorder. So maybe, people say, oh, I'll link it. I have no idea how, so I guess I'm not going to link it. Anyway, you could search it and see if you wanted to see my opinion on that. Um, the other half stay with a job despite their treatment, and they stay and they stay and they stay until they absolutely snap and they have to go. Um, I actually thought I was the only one who left a job by moving, like a significant move. We're talking hundreds of miles, and that it finally got to that point where I had to move because I couldn't come up with a good enough reason to quit otherwise. And I definitely couldn't go on a job search while I had a job. I mean, it was, but I'm not the only one. There are definitely other people. I'm like, wow. I hear the story like, yeah. I mean, I know somebody who changed continents in order to get away from a job that was just maliciously abusive and taking um, advantage of them. Um, the other thing that I used to always, I sort of got to the point where I take it with a grain of salt, and like people, I guess, thought I was a good talker. Not that. It's not that I'm a good talker, it's that I don't speak back. So I'm a good listener? I don't know. That people would vent to me. And the thing is, I would not react. It would be like really not good. Like they would just like go off about something going on in their job and just like unload this amazing amount of vitriol. And it had nothing to do with me. They were just like, I'm going to, you know, like I said, go off about X, Y, and Z, act in a completely inappropriate, non professional manner, talking about whatever to me because I wouldn't react. So I guess they thought they could. Where other people would either, I don't know what they would do. Well, at least tell them to shut up and they need to go talk to the person that's bothered them and not bother and waste their time. But I'm not the only one that's had that happen to them either. Um, all right, here come the stupid. I need to disclaim and I need to say I'm not being a braggart, but um, I won a stupid award at work, and it included a write up. I mean, they basically picked people out of a hat. Um, and most of the other ones, oh, this person, it makes work easy, blah blah blah. I I I don't I don't I can't for the life of me understand why I was not. Um, Everybody else got like 3 lines, and I got like a half a page. And I saw that and I was like, I can't read this here. I took literally the first line is something like, the first time I met her, I thought she was a pain in the butt. And it went down from that. And it finally ended with, well, she shows up, whenever we need her, wherever we need her, and fills in, with no notice whatsoever, and basically kept departments that aren't even her own department you know, going. So I guess that's a good thing. And I'm just like, I think it was an attempt at satire. I think more of the same, that they think I have a thick skin and I can take it. And I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God. I I mean, I went through that, and because, somebody else was like sort of laughing about it, like, oh my God, did you see this? And I was like, that was not nice. Uh, and they were just like, well, and they couldn't come back. I guess that's how it was perceived, but it mean it went out company wide. And if I hadn't, this is the time of year when I'm working just insane hours, and they can't get anybody to um to work for them. I mean, it's just cyclical. Like, um, the end of spring and over the summer, we'll get a ton of people, and then basically over the fall and into the winter, they'll all go get better jobs, and then in the late winter and early spring, there's nobody else working there, and I work all the time until I crack and go take a week on vacation, um, which I haven't done. So that's me. That's what I do. But that sort of, like, what are they thinking? Because if with a person with avoidant personality disorder, you don't let people know how you actually feel. You put on that facade and you keep it rock steady, and everything is okay, 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 even when it's really not. You just cope with whatever gets thrown at you. Um, and people think that that's okay. And I've heard that sort of thing happen. Um, like, families will impose on people, especially about their job. They'll say, "Well, you can just do this. I mean, you're a family member. I don't have to pay you, and you can just do it on your time off and stuff like that." And they think that that's okay, where they wouldn't do that with anybody else. Um, I heard people say things like, "God, you must love your job. You're there all the time. You are so devoted to it," that sort of thing. And it's not true at all. But again, that's avoidant personality disorder. Um, so if you're being treated like this by your employer, um, I know, I can see you. I know that this is not your choice. That maybe you're putting, you know, the best sort of description of it to yourself, and you're like, well, at least I'm making money, at least I have a job, at least this, at least that, and you're not sticking up for yourself. um that doesn't mean you're being treated correctly or well. And I see that. I see when people take advantage of people with avoidant personality disorder. It used to be part of the DSM, the diagnostic criteria. One of them was underemployment. I mean, employment was always such a big issue with somebody with avoidant personality disorder that it was in the DSM, and the most recent one, they dropped that part. Um, Probably because of the influence of the internet, actually, because more people could work from home, even before the pandemic. Because if you had an online job, then you would not have to interact in the same way, and so people could get better jobs than um, before the computer. So, um, but I see what they're doing. I know that it's not right. And then people will whine, "Oh, we're single and we have to work on Christmas Eve because all the families want off." And they whine about that. And then they don't even think for 2 seconds. Well, there's this other person there that's kind of quiet, that never has stories about interacting with people, um, seems not to have a social life. Oh, good. We'll just pile the work on them. Oh, good. We'll just sort of like make them the butt of the joke. Oh, we'll just assign them the weirdest jobs because I know that we know they'll just do it. Um, it's not right. I see that, and I wish I had some advice on putting up with it. Um, it's kind of the point of this series is that I don't know what a solution is. It's wrong. People shouldn't act like that, but they do, and I see it. So good luck with that. Maybe your next job, which you'll have in like 30 years when you finally snap, or the company goes under. Not to stress you out at that idea, but at some point you'll get a different job. Maybe the next one they won't act so like it's almost calculated. It's almost calculated. They're like, this one we can dump on them. This one always says yes. Because you can't say no if you have a avoidant personality disorder. Or else you only say no. I see that. Good luck.